is you've got to beat Reason. Simple as that. You're in a situation where you need a victory under your belt, a clear 2-0 ideally, and you're against a team that you should be beating. So there's a lot of pressure on these guys here.
Yeah, the other thing to mention is if you look at the teams they've already played, this is where things should get easier, if anything. Like Reason, I would say, have played the 3 toughest teams in the tournament, or without a doubt, the 3 toughest teams. 2 of them have already been played by Method as well. So it's not like they should have an easier road from here on out. The problem is they have to win now. It's not really like, okay, a 1-1 will do, where either of these teams can sort of go, yeah, no, at least we got a point. It doesn't really matter. They're both right at the bottom of the board. So here it is. It's sort of win it or you're probably done already.
Yeah, I've got to say, Weber's got a lovely look to his name there. Just nice and edgy. Looks like a MySpace profile. Good stuff, Weber. But Pulse and the Reason boys up on the T side. CT side, of course, going to be Reason. And it's Cinder to go have a little look here. Could get swung on by Pulse if he's not too careful. He gets baited in by Niels, but so far, Method taking their time. You can already see Yenko working his way back over towards B. Just kind of through the halls, taking his time. No real rush here at this point.
Yeah, just straight out patience at the moment. No real information gained from either side. Cinder is probably going to be the first point of contact, although there is a little bit of pressure coming in towards drop. Cray is going to be waiting there at the moment. It was Cinder who was playing drop a lot in the game that they actually won versus Epsilon, so maybe it's just for the pistol. We'll just have to wait and see. Thomas is going to be falling back already, looking to try and take the initial shots. Grabs a couple as well, and he's just taken 3 out of this round already. The 2 remaining players have to try and retrieve that bomb. Neil eventually gets himself the kill, and actually doing quite a bit of damage in the meantime. However, it's all onto him. Versus 3, actually takes the first. Has to be careful though. Cray looking to try and sneak him from behind. Doesn't have much health, so has to find this kill quickly. And somehow he's just surviving on 4 HP at the moment. However, he still has 66 of his own.
This pistol is vile to watch. Needs 1 shot on Cray, and the same can be said back to him. But let's be honest here, Thomas just came back in with an absolute headline performance, just locking out 3. That's pretty sick, considering it was easily able now, from this point onwards, they should have been easily able to, should I say, lock down the platform play, then isolate the last 2 players. Well done to that. You know, that's one way to get your confidence back in as well, let's be honest. He's been away for a couple of weeks, obviously been playing the pugs when he's back home and, you know, starting to warm into it and practicing a bit. But it's always good when you come into that official, you just get yourself going straight away.
We got an XM.
Cinder, he's gone for it.
My favorite gun.
It's your favorite, is it?
Yeah. It's so bad that it's good. That's how it works. And it makes you a nice amount of money as well. So we'll see if he gets anything done, although I don't think he's going to be in the position to do too much here, as they've already taken a lot of position over towards long A. A little bit of a hold by Neil, just watching for any rotations, making sure people can't come in from behind, but already 3 players actually dedicated over towards this A side from the CTs.
That's a decent read. They weren't particularly quiet, so I can imagine steps were heard. Anyway, once Pulse plays in that smoke and probably a flash to follow, I can imagine they'll burst out, maybe a little bit of a mini split through drop if Niels can make any sort of impact, or maybe just keep players present towards B. But that's not really the case. With 3 here, you're kind of starting to read the play very, very well. And Karma going to put down smoke towards long. Pulse on the other side, and already Thomas is going to find them. Yeah, this is a bit of an awkward situation for Method. You're coming up against 3 players in exactly the right place. You're hoping for 1, at most 2, and you've not sold a single fake, and it's really not worked out. You've not made it past the first hurdle. And now you can see instantly. Good approach from Reason, fall back to the sites, not allow these free picks to come in. Use the rifles, and Thomas again finds another.
Yeah, just playing at range now. Neil doesn't stand a chance, and yeah, very strong start. Maybe that's it. Just go to Cuba for a little bit, come back, relaxed, and 7 kills in the first couple of rounds. Not bad at all.
Can't complain. And it must be nice, though, because everything you set up, right, everything you have as a team, you kind of learn it with that 5th. Even just changing 1 player can make a world of difference, and it just might be a couple of flashes, a couple of smokes, you know, a couple of positions. Oh, that gets messed up. You know, the chain of events then just completely falls out. So maybe they just feel comfortable with him. We'll see if it actually matters down the line. This is the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's early days.
This is super early stuff. It's just nice to see him starting well. That's literally it. Beyond that, this round, not much to be seen in the form of investment, of course, from Method. Just a couple of upgraded pistols. Niels and Yenko going for that. Nothing too much beyond it, not even a flash to set it up. So ideally, you're getting a gun away. You're just doing a little bit of something.
Yeah, or you're giving Cinder a load of money. Because they do look like they're going to set up over towards drop.
But there's no one else there with him. I'm kind of hoping someone else plays window side or just gets a little closer towards connector. Otherwise, you can get overwhelmed.
He doesn't need it. He's got this.
Yeah?
I believe. I don't believe very often. Definitely didn't believe earlier in our game when the comeback started to begin for Endpoint. But I believe in the XM. There's going to be 4 players coming in. Already a start. And he does get overwhelmed, but still made $1,800. Handed it over, though. Can we see an XM kill out for the T's? That would be a nice little bonus in terms of cash, at least. Thomas is going to be waiting on that outside. Weber looking to try and find the kill with the XM. If he gets away with this, it really would be nice. However, in the meantime, we've seen the push come in over towards Platt. Another player lost. They, of course, don't have very much, so even just getting a couple would be nice, but only 1 allowed. And the CT side only lose an XM, so not too much of a problem.
No, really clean start for the CTs. Going to keep their money looking pretty decent going forward. Got to be happy enough with that. A lot of a discussion going through. You can see Method now needs to get into the game. This is you want to get them off to a good start. If you're a fan of Method, you feel they kind of need it after the season they've had so far. Just make this feel comfortable. You start getting maybe doubts in the back of your mind if you've come in after a rough pistol round, but all is well. Karma's going to get the AWP pretty quickly though, so he's up on that nice and swiftly. Full armor, full utility, perfectly well set. I'm kind of wanting CT aggression. I don't know if they're going to need to go to it just yet, but even just like the AWP and the rifle playing up on Platt, the deep smokes that come in, push a rifler up. Whatever it is, I love seeing that as a go-to. I don't know if they need to go to it yet. We're still seeing a bit of a default enough round from Reason. Same can be said to a degree for Method, having Niels just slowly working through 8. Just showing presence, keeping at least 1 player present towards the A site. You've still got, Hoodlum playing by the door as well, and the drop presence starts to build.
Already just a straight fallback. Abandonment of drop. A little bit of a switch up of position from Thomas as well, because he can't really play so aggressively, although he's actually going to go peeking towards drop itself. Again, it's a bit risky to just give up this sort of position, but...
And look at the utility that's left on the T side. They have 1 smoke and 2 flashes, and they don't have anyone... Well, okay, they have Stanley out, right? That's literally a lot. It's going to be hard to get past this. Wherever you go, you're going to be feeling a little uncomfortable. They've got to land some absolute blistering shots to get out on this site.
Yeah, Platt can be perfect for that, though. Thomas is going to be the man waiting, and actually they are quite heavily invested into the A side, the 2 players there, so rotation isn't going to be... There's the 1 flashbang. Thomas gets the first, but he's very low on HP, needs some support, but still gets the second, leaving them with a man advantage. Weber looking for the man in drop. He gets taken down by Hoodlum. It's all onto Neil once again. 1v3, just like the pistol, and nothing going to come of it. Shut down round from Reason. They'll start things off 4-0. And yeah, as you said, just no utility there. Didn't really have much to sort of play back in. And with Thomas getting away with 2, I just feel like the trade was a little bit too slow.
Yeah, bit of a shame. Maybe, 1 more flash, a couple of chained flashes through there. You could have maybe isolated 1 and maybe went onto the site, maybe smoked off somewhere. But again, these buys, they're buying right down to the bone. So this time they just have 2 players with a touch of utilities. You've got Niels and Weber, and that's it. No nades, no mollies. Nothing fancy to work with. On the other side, you're going to see Reason start building their money up so nicely. They get a little bit of a fallback buffer. Start looking at that. Let's see if they do anything different here, Reason, if they feel like there's a different approach to be had. They're putting a lot of faith in Karma Pangya as well. Going to leave him over kind of towards A-Long. Not necessarily on his own. It's not like the 4-1. It's not, you're not seeing that completely. You still have Hoodlum close enough by, spotting middle. But he has no full information on danger. And that's a nice little start there. Yenko just walking out into it, no flash, no set piece, and there's a follow-up as well. This is a disaster for Method. They're just going in 1 by 1. They're allowing these picks to happen, and with no utility, no easy way to force them off the angles or pre-fire or anything, you're just walking into people holding angles.
Well, yeah, Karma's going to be very happy with that with the AWP. Just sit there, be patient, take a shot, rotate away. Just smart, but very simple. He doesn't actually have to do too much. Didn't have anybody even close by to trade. And from the T's now, they've got a 2-man disadvantage. There's already 3 players on this A site and 1 able to quickly rotate. Stanley will actually make it past the smoke. Gonna go pushing towards Hoodlum, but he still manages to get the first, leaving it into a 2 versus 4. The advantage clearly with the CT side at the moment. It only gets worse. Pulse now. There's so many players to find. Actually gets the first, but, well, Cray so quick to trade that the 5-0, almost simple.
3 alive in both gun rounds as well. Build up the funds, keep it going. And again, Method need to just take that moment and just take a second to get everything they need. Because otherwise you're going to be in these situations, losing out to those early picks. A little bit of a lighter investment, and I'm more than happy to see that. A couple of flashes, a touch, nothing too much. They're kind of leaving around 3K, so they should have that nice buy when they can finally afford it. but they're just not getting kills on the board. They're not getting enough beside them to actually warrant them getting into the game. Hopefully they can overwhelm here. Jenko going to take matters into his own hands and gets his head taken off, but Pulse at least pushes in, finds one, finds another. Thomas finally falls. We're going to see B under pressure. Through on Connector as well. Nice work from Hoodlum to keep that in mind. But the last two players have a bit of a threat to them, are going to work out towards Plat. That's Niels, there's going to be Weber, the classics, and Pulse is the one to save them.
Yeah, Pulse coming in through drop, and this is the best round we've seen so far from Method, and it's with those pistols. Pulse already getting himself 3 kills, has the AK-47 in hand. Hoodlum hoping that somebody will peek into the angle, has a Molotov to clear certain angles, but there's nobody there at the moment. It's still going to be that man in drop of Pulse with that AK-47 who's the one, but Hoodlum gets him, and a second as well. Neil doesn't have any armor. Actually going to throw out a flash to try and catch him out, but he's just rotated away at the moment, gone all the way around the back. Very smart from Neil. Gives away his position, however, but the bomb is ticking pretty fast, and actually Hoodlum's just going to try and defuse this flat out. Neil missing all of the shots. He doesn't know he's still there. It doesn't get any worse now for Method. At least they built up some cash, but at the same time, Hoodlum, 4 kills and a cheeky little defuse at the end.
And at that moment, Henry G's heart shatters. I say like he has personal investment. He absolutely doesn't. It's just, oh man, those moments you hate to see it, don't you?
It was only a pistol round. I am a little bit confused with why they didn't invest a bit more. Because when you have max loss bonus 2,900 still left, you sort of think...
You've been completely battered by having no utility before. So, fine, just go for it for now. They got the best of that situation, to be fair. Being able to get it to that close point was actually impressive. Now this is where the game might begin for me. Now we see the utility takes. Now you see them isolating positions on long. Maybe it's going to be Jenko again working up there. It might be Niels this time. It is Niels. He's just soloing up towards A long. But it's nice. It's keeping them guessing. The CTs don't have that full read into it. You can see Cray already starting to float back through towards Connector. As again, they start to build towards drop. This is lovely from Method. This is the play I want to see. A little bit smarter, a little bit more switched on. And right now, Niels is selling an absolute brilliant bit of presence as they hide the sound of the drop as best they can. There's just 2 players will be locking this down, Thomas being one, and Cinder the other. And Stanley looking for the first opportunity. They do have some step towards full drop control if they can get that E-box side and maybe a bit towards window playing to Connector. But so much pressure on these 2.
Yeah, this one hell of a gamble from the CT side. Based on the footsteps of one man, Thomas going to be peeking out, does win the first duel, and there's no option for a trade. So once again, they've started things strong, but they haven't spotted too much out. Thomas again, and he's going to drop the bomb over towards Platt. There's only 30 seconds left. This should be the rotation. Niels has got to try and hold some of those players back. And they still have to retrieve that bomb. And, well, Thomas is doing an absolutely perfect job, just wasting as much time as possible. Cray's going to win the duel as well. And now Weber, 15 seconds left. Not going to happen. What started off as such a strong position is stopped by Thomas and his M4.
Just frustrating, I can imagine. But I'm hoping there's a timeout coming in for Method soon just to get their heads in the right place, because they are getting absolutely broken down here. And Thomas's 1v2 is nice, but it was 2 individual 1v1s. He was able to get the first. Great aim, don't get me wrong. He's doing really well. But they're not flashing him out. They're not going to molly stairs. They're not going through the steps that I maybe feel they have to go to. Maybe Method had come in with a mentality they don't need to do it, and that is a huge error right now. They need to kind of slow things down, and I kind of want to see what's happening on the other side. If we could have a little look at Neil, see if he's looking calm or, well, he's not looking all that vocal, considering he's, in-game leader.
Yeah, considering this is attack. There we go. He said a word.
I'm trying to see who it is talking. Yeah, not much being said.
It's actually, it's Weber.
It is Weber having
Weber's having all of the voice of the team, but hopefully that means they're actually going to be sorting something out for the next round, because thus far it has just been, even when they have a huge advantage, just decimation. That Thomas sort of double kill there, if there's 2 players there, he doesn't get it. You'd have to hope.
Unless he's, you might see an AWPer do it there. You might see maybe able to do that, get away with that. You don't often see just a solo rifle, no support, no, he wasn't flashed in by anyone. He was, literally
it was quite aggressive peek as well. So
yep, normally you get punished for that. Now, Method, you've got to come up with something. You're 0-7 down. This is when you start getting a bit tilted. You get a bit frustrated. You start, it all starts to begin. And I think that's the early smoke from Karma just to should land over by the box. There it is. That's actually really deep. I didn't know you could do one that deep. But Method going to pick up the pace here. It looks like they want to go for the faster hit. That almost worked out before on those pistol rounds. This could work well. Bearing in mind, Reason aren't used to having to use anything to stop them. There hasn't been that early pressure. Good work from Cray to fall back and find one, but overwhelmed. They finally get the bomb site for Method. They should be able to get that down uncontested. Thomas escapes through the smoke. And this retake looks near on impossible. It's very hard when you've got so much utility, so many mollies, so much time to be bought. Nice approach from Method. Good switch up of timing. This should keep Reason humble for now.
Yeah, this is where really you want them to be keeping their weapons. Hoodlum actually going to go flashing through. The rest of his team have backed off, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Just decides to individually try and take a 1v4 as his teammates have already left. So maybe a little bit of confusion there at least. But Method, well, the great thing about that round is they speed things up and then just have all their utility to hold off every single angle. So pretty basic stuff, but sometimes going back to basics can work wonderfully, especially when you look at the sort of setups Reason have been doing. They've been holding back. They've been then taking peaks a little bit later on. And as you said, a lot of their utility hasn't been expended early, so punish them for it.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice approach. I don't mind it at all. It doesn't last. It's not something you can throw in every single round, obviously. That's when they'll start utilizing all the money they've built up from these pretty clean rounds until this point. So that's the next step for them. And I guess for Method now is, well, how do we go on from here? We can't just keep rushing place. We can't just, keep applying that pressure every day of the week. But there's opportunities. We saw how well Niels did at pulling players over. He kept 3 players present towards A while the rest of his team slowly worked their way towards the site. If they could maybe find a middle ground on that, it could be pretty nice to look at. But Reason, it's their chance to now find a way back in. Find what they need to do. Do they need to now expend early utility? Do they need to put a couple of flashes, a couple of mollies down, just, stop that sort of hit coming into place? And, well, the answer is simply yes. You might need to start actually working through that rather than just going, well, they're going to take their time. We'll just sit there and just absolutely, destroy them. So hopefully they come up with a plan.
Yeah, we did actually see a little bit of a switch up as well from the CT side. They had the tree boost in. It didn't really get anything done, so it's not so much to look at. But I wonder if we'll see something now from the side of Reason. Obviously, this is technical, so I don't know what the rules are here, if they're allowed to talk or not. Normally the case is no. But just got some Thomas highlight reels. He really has started this game very, very strong indeed, which is worrying because he was one of the key factors. It was him and Cinder, who has been a little bit quiet so far. He did something with the XM and then had, well, as you saw there, just sort of trade frag. Pulse as well had a massive round other than this, which was a little bit unfortunate, but that ended up being Neil in that sort of 1 versus 1 scenario. And yeah, other than that one quick round, we haven't seen a lot. I think they could feel a little bit hard done by after that sort of defusal situation, which could have kick-started them a little bit earlier on. But the important thing is they did actually take a tactical pause, and they've gone, okay, let's slow things. Well, their tactic was to speed things up, but the idea of it was to slow things down, not give all the momentum over to Reason, and yeah, they've got themselves around. The question is now, can they do anything with it? Can they now start the half and get themselves maybe back to even like sort of an even scoreline or like 8-7? That would be the dream. Or can they at least make it respectable enough that they go onto their CT side and it's possible?
Well, true to trend, we know that UKCS seems to lack one of the 2 halves more often than not. T side seemed pretty solid. It's a CT side, but this is a good display. Again, if your Method, this was meant to be you coming into your stride. This was meant to be the easier section of games, but it seems the man on the screen right there, Thomas, has started to just chuck spanners into the works, make it a little bit more difficult. There's still a couple of technical problems just being worked down, but the one benefit, I guess, for Reason as well, all the rounds they've won so far have been pretty clean. I think minimum 3 alive in the vast majority of them, even the gun rounds. So their money's going to be sitting pretty solid overall. As you can see, the admin's just working away on some bits and pieces. I think the issue was with Reason at some point. And yeah, Niels is another factor I want to talk about. This guy, you need him to get fragging as well. In-game leader, sure. There's always a pinch of salt when you say it, that they need to get fragged if they're an in-game leader, but it was last week, I think, when we casted, well, I casted their game, and he dropped off so badly. 4 kills, something like that was all he got, and it's just simply not enough. So he needs to, find a bit of form for himself here. An incredibly talented player. He's been through this for a number of years. It's not like he's new to these stages, so we know he's there for it. Just need to see it actually delivered on stage. Hopefully that'll help out. But yeah, so far, good display from Reason.
Yeah, well, especially when talking about this team just in general, like even just looking at more recent, like local lands at least, they've been winning pretty much all of them. So the fact that they have come in here and started so slow is really worrying for them, because I think if you go into this sort of tournament and you look at who you're going to be thinking is the sort of UK team to push for that top 4, okay, you're still looking at the Team Envious Academy, who have, I still think, have impressed far more than anybody would have expected. The fact they haven't actually dropped a map so far is incredible.
Yeah.
But then you look at some of the other teams like, well, Epsilon, we were thinking they were going to be up there. Prophecy was a little bit of an unknown. Ooh, Cinder's going straight back to it. I like it. He's actually brought the XM into the buy round now.
How much money does he have? Can we just check that out real quick? Well, when we get a sec. Still, bit of a middle hit coming through. Hoodlum's going to see this. Needs to be a little careful. He can go overwhelmed. Good use of the molly, but already the punishment comes out. Stanley and Webb are going to be on to punish the CT side pretty swiftly. Thomas, though, good read, good position. Finds one. Looks for the push as well. Niels is going to be there, but the bomb's stuck in a bit of an awkward predicament. Can't get past Thomas. He's the man who will not be moved. And oh, you're only praying for Cray to hit that shot. Look how low these players are as well. Niels 8, Pulse 31. Spots out the first. That's Niels gone. It's down to a 1v1. Pulse playing on the site, using what he has. A flash goes through, but no, Cray's going to find the angle, but does he expect it? Ooh. And he can't adjust. It's Pulse there in the end to get on the board, and that was pretty sporadic. A little bit, you know, bit of mayhem thrown in there, but it worked out.
Yeah, taking the straight-up aim fight at the end when you have lower HP, the surprise factor, I guess, rather than waiting on the site to die. And now things get a little bit more interesting for the CT side. Looking like they're actually not going to buy into this one. Going to save their money and just go back in. And when you have a round buffer like they do at the moment, totally understandable. You sort of look at the T side economy and they're still yet to build up too much money themselves. So this is fine. I like the fact that they're not just going straight aggro into these rounds and trying to break them back as soon as possible, and more relying on their own CT side.
Hoodlum might be in a bit of an awkward situation soon enough. Got 4 players near him. He's just taking a gamble and no one's working up along, praying he hits something through the door. Just a deagle though. Still do a little bit of damage. Do a little bit of work. Get some guns away. Would be nice. Not unlikely at this point, but going to fall back. He's got a friend there now with him. He's got Cinder, I think, coming over as well. And we'll just see if Reason can get enough players to the right place to maybe do a little bit of work. But with everything that Method have left, there should be a clean run.
Yeah, I like the gamble rotation, though. Just spotting out a little bit over towards this A side, and they've just decided, okay, let's send 3, even a 4th player starting to rotate over, mainly because of what Cray can see at the moment. There's nothing there. It's down to 45 seconds, not a single push towards Plat. Can almost guarantee they're going to be hitting this A site, and some very good positions at the moment from the CT side. However, Jenko will be there to start things off. Will they expect the crossfire on the site, though? It's a little bit cheeky. Both players up close. The nades are going to be in to do some damage, but they're still here. Cinder manages to get one, can't do anything else. And now, well, the bomb should be planted comfortably with no CT players anywhere near.
That was really nice use of nades, just to clear out the corners then, not taking too much of a risk. They did, what, lose 1 player to that, but yeah, that's fine. 4 alive is lovely. If they can keep that, we'll be singing. Cray, trying to find something in the middle. Just going to look for some exits here. May have an opportunity soon enough. Weber's considering that route. Thomas still has armor as well. And the 5-7 kit to hand. Ooh, catches a glimpse of Niels. Going to work in on this as well. Pulse gets tagged, but there it is. Niels going to connect through the door. And now Cray hoping he can get a gun. Not looking so much like it will happen. Method not over pushing here. And Cray, well, there it is. Just runs in for it, why not? So, Method, good recovery, considering they're having, what, a bit of a beatdown. You know, it was pretty rough to watch at the start. It's very one-sided. They have recovered pretty well.
Yeah, no, they're in a decent position now with 4 players staying alive in that round. Important for their own economy. But that was just a setup. That was a waiting game for a reason to get themselves another buy. They have the AWP. Decent amount of utility as well, though there's a couple of pieces missing here and there. But the last few rounds, at least in buy rounds from Method, have been very quick plays. Catching out this CT side. They're going back to what looks like more of a default hold. Although Pulse is going to be trying to challenge onto Karma, who's been pretty good at getting these opening picks so far.
Should be flashed in. Might hear the step though. Depends what flash they do. Stanley Nothing flashy about it.
Oh.
Re-peeking that, risky as you like. They already had 2 players essentially watching the angle. Now, A-Long is theirs. They have to shuffle players over from Reason. Put Hoodlum up over by the stables. You've got now Cinder playing through Connector. Kray's now uncomfortable playing drop. He has to watch 2 sides of it. But look at Thomas, active in what he's doing over by Platt. I like that as well. Keep getting the information. Now, Weber's made it through towards drop. We expect Kray in this position, but it's down to Hoodlum to buy the time. Now they know where the hit's coming in towards. If he can buy a little bit longer, that'd be perfect. But no, Jenko is there.
It's left onto Cinder on the site. Nobody else from his team is here, and they're still trying to deal with Weber in drop. The Molotov, oh, has it missed? No, it hasn't. It will eventually force him out of position, and that's perfect from Neil. Leaves the site completely open, and Kray nowhere near the action, still trying to get rid of Weber, who he knows is behind him. And that's like, it just means that going anywhere near that A site now is completely pointless, because he knows that the second he even gets 1 kill, he'll be shot in the back of the head. He's just going to try and fall back, just consistently watching. For Weber is probably going to be able to get away with this, unless Weber actually peaks at the exact right time, but nice little jump up, spots him out, and there's no one else near him at all.
They do need to start finding an answer to this A hit. And now the problem is the momentum will swing to Method, where if you want to start countering A, well, what happens if they go for a B rush next round? They've got the money, they can go for something like that if they don't lose too many players here. Why not just try and switch something up, go for something a little bit, you know, cheekier? But Reason starting to dwindle. Their money certainly not looking as phenomenal as it once did, down to about 3K, you know, 3.5 around that. So could be going for a stack here, but it looks like Weber's incredibly vocal. You know, we were told that Niels is in-game leading, but vast majority, it looks like Weber's having a good old chat.
Yeah, look, maybe he's taking the role. Things haven't been going very well, so why not? Why not switch it up? The Virtus Pro way, right? Things don't work. We get new in-game leader every time. Although Taz has told us in interviews he is the best, so. And I would never disagree with Taz.
No.
Hoodlum is pretty good with this Deagle. Haven't seen it as of yet. I think we saw it quite a bit versus Infused. Pulse. Just going to be peeking around, and Karma with the Zeus. Maybe a little bit of tilt coming in now, and actually gets another with the AK, so doing a decent amount of damage. They still have a rifle in play, but 3 quick kills in succession out from this T side. Leaves it on to just 2. Now Cinder's normally good for 1 with his CZ, and will be able to do that. Neil just round the corner. Will he run out of bullets? Yes, he will, and Neil gets a freebie kill. But now Kray, 1v2 again. He lost the last one, and this time Weber has a whole lot more health.
Nice position from Weber too. He can hold such a deep angle on this. I doubt Kray will peek at first. No, and there it is. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Weber is there, and Method are pretty much back in the game. It's quite simple, quite easy go-to hit. Take over A-Long. This was nice from Kamapanga, but it's a bit of a quirky round. It's not like you can sustain those things. It doesn't really make a big difference in the long run. But overall, the 3 to 4 players who end up hitting A has been working out so nicely for Method. We've seen what Weber's kind of slowly playing through drop, being a bit of a nuisance, being a bit of a lurker. And he normally swings round, once they kind of, I guess, put Jenko back over as well. They clear out the halls together, but they could switch this up. They could go for something different, but again, quite quickening of the pace. But this time, Reason going to put 3 players here. So a difference already. Hoodlum going to find 1, but then falls. It's Thomas who's the danger man now.
Yeah, he's completely rotated. The problem is Jenko is now just feeling out over towards this B site. Kray actually going to win the battle, so that's going to stump any sort of push over towards this B site at the moment. Man advantage as well for the CT side, something they haven't had in a while, and it means that they can sort of split their defense, relying heavily on Kray on B, but he has support as well from drop. Cinder yet to have that same sort of performance we saw in this drop room previously. But now would be a pretty good time to start. It is actually going to be the push out onto Plat. They still have a minute to play with, so they don't actually have to dedicate themselves anywhere as of yet, although they have gathered up as a 3-man core to try and take B.
Kray, as much as Cinder is relatively close, he can't really play off him much. Now he's going to fall back, give up the site a little bit, but at least call for support. Spots out at least 1 then by the box, seen another cross, and it's Cinder to support eventually. Comes in through drop, and he does what he needs. Neil's looking for the first man to show for him, but he's down to 35 seconds, and it's him and Stanley this time. No Weber beside him, so already Stanley looking for options. Kray's on the other side. First man to get past, and Niels needs to find something soon. They've got 20 seconds odd. They need to get towards the site. Boost comes in towards tree. I like it. Oh, Christ. No, I don't. I lied. Maybe they're going to hear this. Maybe not. Oh, Pangy goes down 10 seconds now. They need to look towards this bomb plant. There's no way they're going to get all the players. And how is he allowed to almost get away with that? And there it is. Done. Cray's had enough. Plays it well, but that could have gone pretty poorly, actually, in the end. Not shutting that down straight away was a little interesting.
Well, I have no... If Cray goes down there, I am almost certain the Method win that round. Like, it just the fact that he manages to get two. A little bit lucky he doesn't get sprayed down by the first person, but the second one, it's almost a straight-up dedication to getting that bomb down at that point.
Yep.
However, it's straight back on the buy for Method, so they still have a chance to actually make this a reasonable half.
Can we see how Jenko's doing so far? If we can have a little look at tab when you get a sec, Mr. Observer, that'd be lovely when the game takes a break for a second, because I think he's been pretty quiet. And he's one of the players I looked at to bring, quite a bit of fire for Method. He's not quite there at the moment, but Hoodlum's going to take the fight towards middle. And a nice crossfire set up there. Thomas played in off the back as well. That's what you want to be seeing. That was the A hit that was hindering them so much.
Yeah, straight up aggression coming out. Will be caught out in the end from Hoodlum. He goes maybe a little bit too far. At the same time, they still have a two-man advantage. Neil just going to be waiting in an attempt to try and retrieve that bomb at least. 1 minute 10 on the clock, so they can just fall back from this. He has support from his teammate, making sure there's nobody in from behind. But from the CT perspective here, they can just fall back to the sites, have very passive holds. Cray right in that sort of back little crevice, just in case they do peek out. He should have a 1 kill for certain, and the second is more than likely. And then the rest of the players, they still have 2 all the way back over towards the A site itself. Neil's going to have to work some absolute magic with this AWP.
Oh, him and Weber have been pretty solid so far. Not going to get past Panya though. Lands it towards Weber and leaves Niels very much alone. 30 seconds and not much of a chance in hell at this one. And I think he knows it too. Might look for another option to have a quick crack at it. Otherwise, it's keep hold of the AWP and look towards the next round.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Not really much of a chance to get back into this one. The money for them is not great after just losing the previous round. And you are right, Genko 2 and 12 at the moment, so right down the bottom of that scoreboard.
A little surprising. I've seen the guy play, certainly very, very capable. Just not seeing it here right now. Otherwise, first one in a while that's gone cleanly on the board. For reason, right players in the right place, good stack, finally dealt with that A pressure that was coming in so often. Now what's the response from Method? Back and forth we go. What do? Do they go back to the same A hit? Do they just feel, all right, we can just work on it better, get better trades, we'll be fine? Or do they try something different? Do they try and go for that quick B hit maybe? Looks like a bit of an A so far, but we'll see if that continues.
Yeah, I definitely think in the slower rounds at least, it just leaves reason to take the initiative, and that doesn't look like something they want to be doing. So speed it up straight through, and it's more of a gamble over towards this B side. There's only one man. It's Karma with the AWP, spots them out, takes a first, actually goes for the repeat, and once again, he's taken down because of it. He needed to hold the line a little bit more. The rotation will be coming in, but look at the flank from Weber as well.
Great utility.
He's well positioned. He's sat behind, makes his way out. They should know he's here. He's actually going to sneak in behind Cray. This should be a freebie kill, but he actually just waits, turns back around. That's a first. Looks to try and help his teammates, and there's only Hoodlum right below him. Although they haven't actually spotted him out, but now he shoots. That's it done. And Cray has to come back into a 1v3. Weber with a massive play in this round and eventually finished by Neil.
What are some of these rounds, Tom? What is going on this game? It's not so pretty affair. I think we got a little treated in our first game. We got a nice close one for the second, even though I guess you'd argue that Envy against Excel shouldn't have been as close as it looked. Train was actually pretty exciting. And then you come to this and you think, some of these rounds we're watching are just... I don't know how Weber gets away with that sort of thing. I really, really don't get it. But he does. He seems to manage it. He seems to make it work. See them discussing into that second half now. See what they can bring on that CT side. Something that we've seen escape a couple of the UK teams. Not quite as stable, get overrun, rotates aren't quite there. Just little pieces missing. I'm hoping we see more from the bit of a duo of Niels and Weber starting to form.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the players you'd be expecting, like the more experienced of them, which maybe that plays to the fact they are on a stage at the moment, but that's just sort of clutching at straws, really, because you do expect, definitely some of the players to step up alongside them. I think Genko with 2 kills is just not enough, because you look at the rest of the board, it's like, okay, it's not bad.
Fine, yeah.
Everybody else, and you have that one player that's just further behind at the moment. That's the difference. You've had Cray with a decent performance. Thomas in the early rounds was having huge amounts of impact. So Now we have to see somebody else step up. Either way, onto that CT side. Bit of utility for Hoodlum. Actually, every single player buying a decoy, so this may just be a cheeky little decoy strat. The best of strats always come with decoys involved. But they're still just going to go straight running out towards this B side. There's 3 players in drop, however, so Jenko, all he has to do is buy time for the rest of these players to rotate in. And already, he's going to be finding one, but eventually gets taken down. Got a lot of opportunities there. However, it may not matter. They still have a man advantage over on that CT side, and it will come down to just Cray. He's going to try and bait them in. Use the bomb plant. They know exactly where he is. Shouldn't have a chance here, but still manages to find himself one. Got to be careful, though, because there's a second player on the flank. Will he expect Weber? The chances are no. Now, he's got loads of time to play with. The problem is that may almost force him into a false sense of security that he could push in from behind. He's waiting patiently, hoping that Weber will be the one to make the mistake. Very unlikely that he knows he's here. At the same time, it's still possible that he's going to try and go rotating back over. Now, Neil should know there's no way that he could have gone back towards that A site, so it's pretty much just a game of cat and mouse.
No, Neil's just worried about drop. He could have slow walked in towards drop, and that's pretty much all he could have done. The problem is now Cray's going to feel that maybe B-long's clear.
Yeah.
Going to plant opening for it. Weber could just walk to this as well. Cray has a chance for one shot, essentially, and he's not looking the right way for it. As soon as you get the attention towards door, you see the hit from Weber. Nicely played out. Good patience shown from Method. Something I expect of their caliber, something I expect these guys to be going through. This was one of the teams that everyone put a lot of weight towards at the start of this season, you know, looking at them to either top out the table to do well, but we are starting to see a little bit more from them. I'll give them that. They are starting to show us a little bit more of that competitive nature that we expect, but again, good start here more than anything. And I like the idea behind the decoys. It does cover up the steps a fair amount. Don't know how many people are in drop. Or if anyone's dropped at all, it's very, very hard to hear, but still. Good beginnings for Method, maybe chance to build into this and get a solid win.
Yeah, and again, it's the 2 experienced players at the end, just waiting patiently. Now, in this round, as clean as possible. That's the idea. They've got lots of UMPs, so they're going to try and farm up as much cash as they can. The T side have invested only into pistols, no armor behind it, because they want those AKs in the next round. And this is all about a little bit of damage getting a bomb plant. That would be ideal for Reason. Anything more, and, well, Method, you'd have to wonder if they've made mistakes.
Jenko not getting absolutely destroyed by Thomas, and thankfully Niels is there, and with all the attention drawn towards door, he gets away with murder there, finding 2 for free, but Cray will finally punish, but it's just Cray left alive and no more to be seen. But Jenko is having one of those games where nothing hits, nothing works, and you just feel awful about it as well. You almost feel bad for him, but it is what it is. Clearly not into it. Niels there. Definitely pulling his weight. We didn't see much of that last week, and I think he's aware of it. Obviously, you notice yourself when you're not having good games, so good to see him just putting up numbers more than anything. And we got 3 kills for Yanko right now. So hard not to say Yanko. Jesus Christ. What can you do? But buy time to a degree, at least. Method, UMP's up. Famous as well for Pulse. 1 kill on towards Weber with the AWP. And look at this play from Reason. I forgot how slow their T-sides can be. When they go on the buys, they play incredibly slow games, but maybe that'll change here. Thomas, maybe the change-up being what he can bring, a little bit more of entry power coming through. Weber says no, at least. The AWP going to ring true this time, and Cray's going to back instantly from that.
Yeah, important opening as well. Shut Thomas down early. We saw in the previous half when he got rolling, it was a scary thing over towards that B side. In fact, a lot of the time we then saw a switch up to more A-heavy executes from Method, just because, okay, let's just avoid him. Not a good idea to go anywhere near that. And the T's are going to do somewhat similar after spotting that AWP. Try and take themselves some drop control. The bomb's still down towards that B side at the moment, but they can still look to split towards the A side, and that's where 2 of their players are currently waiting in the form of Hoodlum and Karma.
Slow walking around at the moment with that 1 smoke on Karma Panya. They can smoke outdoor and try and make the hit count, but they might need to go a little further ahead and just go ahead of the other 2 players, joining them from that B side of things, just because they're running quite low on time. And as much as Jenko hasn't been exactly doing much in the way of putting up numbers, he should be able to at least get information and trade on this, or do something. 20 seconds now, Reason are running out of time, and Jenko's going to find them in the most awkward moment possible for them. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Cinder breakthrough, sure, but still, time to go 10 seconds. It's vital, and Jenko delivers when it matters. Cinder, he knows he's screwed in this. He gets 3, sure, but now with 5 seconds left, no chance of a bomb plant. Bear in mind, Stanley's a mile away.
Oh, look at where Weber is as well. Takes him down right at the end, or Stanley, sorry. So no money is going to be carried over. And that was a massive round from Yenko. UMP, I've just done it now, Jenko. A massive round there as he just manages to clean up 3 players, make himself some extra money. Now the T side again, they're going to be back to pistols. Cinder doesn't have a choice but to full eco here, only $900 in his bank account. And Method, they're looking like they're starting this CT side at least very strong.
Glad to see this from Method. As soon as you say that, of course, Jenko just gets dinked. Solid. It's like, well, I had a good round before. Welcome back to obscurity.
Got rifle again, that's the problem.
That's it. You're right.
It
Just give him
attracts
the
those
UMP.
bullets.
Cray walking through, but I'm hoping we see more from Reason. This could be a good game. If they can actually step up on this T side as well, maybe we'll have something. But for now, it's Method putting on a bit of a class for us, showing that maybe those first couple of weeks were a little, uncomfortable, a little awkward. They had to play some very tough teams, bearing in mind.
And the first 7 rounds of this match.
They have been put through their paces.
But then you have to look at it on the other side and say, okay, now they've won, what, 9 of the last 11, so it's not going too bad for them at all. And in terms of momentum, that's massive, because this game has gone in streaks at the moment. It hasn't been just backwards and forwards rounds. Stanley, simple stuff, takes the head off of 3 and leaves just Cray left to try and sneak around. Does actually manage to take down Jenko. Of course it would be him and nobody else.
You just hate your own life,
that's
don't
what it
you?
is.
It's like, why? Why are you here, Cray? Why have you killed me? Why does Niels miss that shot? Please. There it is. Niels lands it in the end. He's perfectly fine. I feel like I'm flaming Neil a lot here, and I'm not. It's just like, after seeing him have a game with like 4 kills. It literally was. It was just like last week. It was just such a bad performance. Like, oh no. And now he's doing all right. Now he's actually, pretty solid, considering if he's in-game leading in this, if he's doing what, we've been
the best
told.
player, or one of them at least, him and Weber.
The impact those two have been having has been pretty much outstanding, so nicely done.
Oh,
and
God.
do you know what? I didn't realise I was watching female CS, but Cinder plays for CLG Red at the moment.
And it's a Emily play.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
It's worse when it works though, because then you get the people who say like, oh no, but look, it worked.
But it's viable.
Doesn't mean anything. We'll see. He's actually playing more of the back line of his team as they all go pushing towards this A side at the moment. Rotations are quick, but Jenko once again, he's going to have to do a lot in this situation. Luckily, the nades have actually slowed them down a bit, but in the meantime, we're just going to lose 2. Karma entries into the site. The remaining 3 players probably just going to hold on to their weapons. P90 going to be thrown away. Thank you very much.
But do you reckon Reason have gone, where's Jenko playing? Right.
Well, the
Let's
last
just hammer it out.
the last buy round, he got
He
3
was
kills,
good.
so, stop railing on all the players. Go. Leave him alone.
How is he doing scoreboard-wise, actually? I haven't seen him in a while. So he did decide to get a couple
He's
of
on,
kills,
like,
didn't he?
7 or 8?
He's,
Oh, 6. So he's had 3
yeah?
that one round, pretty much.
'Cause the thing is, right, the reason, like, when Niels doesn't frag, it's not that surprising because he's meant to be doing more of a cerebral player, more of maybe a support role. He seems to be AWPing a fair amount, which obviously means you kind of want him to be putting up numbers. But outside of that, if you look at that lineup, Jenko should be one of the players who's at the top. He's one of the the firepower heavy guys. He certainly puts up a lot of the I guess the power behind the punch, right? He's meant to be one of those players, and we're seeing Thomas coming in and delivering a fair amount. At least to what I expected. I'm thoroughly impressed with him. And the man who goes a little unnoticed, I guess, is Pulse. He's been doing really, really well over for Method too. So again, we'll see how this one unfolds now. As we're at 10-10, both teams have decent money, double up on the CT side. Niels and Weber on that.
Yeah, very expensive buy though for the CT side. So this is going to mean that in terms of future economy, they may be in trouble if this goes the wrong way. And look at the gamble. They're pretty much just sending Niels playing a passive role, looking all the way down the A ramp. It's only for the early play, just in case some aggression came in over towards that B site.
But I love CT side aggression. This is what I was talking about at the start of the game. Get Rifler and Orpa doing this, just that nice deep smoke, push up your rifle a little, and then you can just leave Weber to this. Because they have to expend utility just to get out towards it now. They have to flash out, and it's awkward. You're already playing to an angle that you know he's holding. So it kind of forces you to play, all right, let's play for a bit of control to drop, but then again, you've already freed up that other rifler who can then either hold window or the electric box. It's just a nice way of playing it. I really like it, considering this map is so hard to get CT information on. So, there's the flashes used to force Weber back a little bit.
I think
Christ.
he volleyed himself off.
You just love to see it, don't you?
Oh, 45 seconds, that's an extra few wasted. It would be great if they switch up their whole strategy just off of that. They're not going to. It is actually going to be the push towards this B site at the moment. The full team rotating over. They left a little bit of presence there to make some sound. But look at the late Molotov as well.
That's
just
really nice.
Really holding on to a lot of utility towards the end of this one. However, they've still got 2 players gambled over the other side. Stanley missing the initial shots. Push going to be coming in. Weber at the back of the site. He misses as well. Losing quite a lot, but actually they're going to come out on top at least for a second until Thomas and Cinder combine. Leaving it on to just 2. Neil hits the shot through the wood. Down to 11 HP. Him and Pulse to try and save this one. They're the 2 top fraggers at the moment on their team. The afterplants have been taken. They don't have much utility. They don't have any utility, in fact, to actually get themselves back into this round. They need this quick kill, and somehow Cinder still gets another one. It's now left all onto Pulse. Has the AWP in hand, and he's just going to hold on to it.
Yep.
Another round for Reason. And again, it's a few missed shots that sort of throw away that one.
Well, you've got to feel when you saw how that kind of unfolded, right? Weber fell back towards Chicken Coop. He put down a great molly that bought time with what? It was like 25 seconds left? Something around
30,
maybe
yeah.
30. And then the only guy who had the smoke was Karma Panga, who's pretty much the one on the way through the halls. And they finally able to get it done, or extinguish the molly. But by that point, you were down so low. So still to make that hit work is very impressive for Reason, because really, Method did well to that point, to a smaller degree. But by here, you can see it kind of crumbling as the hit came in.
I don't know how he gets this kill.
No. No.
Just an aggressive peak when you have, what, under 20 HP? That's ridiculous.
But look what it's done to the money as well here for Method. Suffering that CT side money is always such a git to hold on towards. But they still have the AWP on Pulse. He's the one who kept it from the last round. So surprised he didn't drop it off to maybe Niels or Weber, but they haven't gone for armor. They've just gone for a little bit of a pistol upgrade.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred just Neo invest into the armor and then you see a pistol invest into Pulse instead, but each to their own. Doesn't want to give up the AWP, and we'll see if there is a reason behind it.
Would you like to say a method to the madness, maybe?
Yeah, no,
But
once
Henry
you're told,
loves it, of course.
You're told you can't, like, basically you can't say it because you can't say the word reason.
Wait till you cast big. Everything.
I have.
Oh, that's a big round. Yeah, big kill there.
Here we go, though. Push into the B site. Thomas and Hoodlum. Quick entries. Leaving Weber with the dig, and he finds absolutely nothing. Pulse does manage one, but again, it sort of comes down to the point of it's probably more valuable to save that AWP than go pushing back into that site. A 12th round will come in for Reason. And Jenko's just going to look to try and get an exit. If he can grab an AK, he'll be a nice little boost to their economy. The T's already building up their own. Last round wasn't particularly clean.
Yeah.
But this one, 4 players alive, could be perfect.
It'd be a nice way back into the game for Reason. That certainly opens up that kind of avenue, doesn't it? Where maybe they could build into the next couple of rounds from. But yeah, Method, it feels like when things go right for Method, they go really right. Everything seems to click really nicely, get that nice CT aggression going. They get a lot of the kind of, I guess, deeper steps to Cobblestone, but then sometimes even just the most basic stuff, you see them kind of fumbling their lines a little. It's quite strange to see, but I guess, you know, it is about the basics here as well. You know, you want to get those basics right, and then you can, you know, build the blocks on top of it.
Oh.
And that's just cruelty, isn't it, Karmapanga? That's just mean. Oof, pause time. Surely a Method pause. Surely.
Yeah, I'd be very, very surprised unless...
Reason just letting them stew it like, how's that scoreline, boys?
We weren't quite happy by the fact that we lost 2 players in that round, so we weren't going to take a tactical pause. No, but it is of course going to be a Method tactical pause. Have a little bit of a talk over what's been going wrong, and it worked last time.
Can we see Weber quickly, if possible? So I want to see if he's the one talking again. It is a Method timeout. We can have a little look over to Weber on the Method side. That's Reason
Not
still.
quite. There we go.
It is Weber talking. Now, I don't know if maybe this is a new change. Again, it could be something that's changed recently, because we were told that Niels has been generally the in-game leader for this, and that's not too surprising, you know, classically, that role. But maybe it's just between these two. Maybe that's it. They just have that discussion between them, and maybe they have that sort of impact. Like, if you talk about, I guess, phase previous to some of these changes, Nico used to give so much information to Kerrigan. So Kerrigan's still your in-game leader, but during a timeout, you'd see Nico just talking. There wasn't a negative, because obviously there was that, the Chris J clip when he was just telling them to shut up, essentially. But like those two would just bounce off each other, which is why it was so dangerous to have them in the team. You have Nico who can basically give the perfect information over to Kerrigan to utilize. So maybe they have a nice little kind of back and forth towards it. But 12-10, Reason, they're back in the game, but Method have shut the book on them before. That first half was incredibly well recovered. So don't forget Method did that. But again, they need to do it now. They need to get control of the economy build up. They need these rounds to be clean, and they can't get overwhelmed. But a quick hit is coming out from Reason. They want that B site, and they want it now.
Yeah, speeding up the pace, trying to catch off the idea of any tactics that Method could have thrown in. They're going to be held out of this site for now, at least. The smoke wall, absolutely perfect, not leaving any gaps at the moment. Hoodlum already going to be finding that first kill, and this is a great way to just throw off any strategy that has just come out from Method. Spray down from Thomas, he finds himself two, make it a third, and yeah, what tactical pause?
But this is the thing, whenever you call those tactical timeouts, there's always the chance that the team on the, once they've unpaused, they come back in, let's just rush somewhere, let's just switch up the pace, let's kick it up a notch. Why not? You saw what it's just done to them, and of course Method are going to be a little cautious on using all that utility. You don't want to just put everything into your stopping power at the start. Niels, desperate to keep hold of this M4, trying his hardest to not get caught out. There are other players looking at Cinder. There's the one to do it, he knows what this is going to do. Reason, right back in the driving seat here, letting Method get a taste of what could have been. And look at this pace coming in, and Thomas, what a way to welcome himself back to the stage, just absolutely destroying them.
He knows.
He may not have a soul, but he certainly has some frags here.
He's putting him to sleep, that's what he said. That's what he said he's going to do. I love it as well. 13-10. Let's not get complacent though.
Do you reckon it's going to be 13-11?
No.
No?
No, I'm not going all in pistols. It is CSGO, so it is possible.
True.
I'll sit on the fence a little bit, because whenever you seem to go like all in, then the pistols will win. You never go full Moses. Even though I may look a little bit like him, I don't think it works.
Don't encourage this. Henry's thinking of creamy couple jokes he can bring up now. All right? Don't start.
Is that what the notepad's for?
Stop it. He's just drawing pictures. Just various cream pies. Isn't that right, Henry? 13-10. Any damage. Anything at this point for Method. You want to get guns away. Imagine you get that right, that AWP. Get that away from Kamapanga. That's what dreams are made of. Unlikely, bearing in mind, but you can all but hope. The longer they take on this, the more they creep towards A, the more damage gets a little likely. Cinder, you can try and sell this as best you want, but the best you're probably going to get is Niels coming over. And he's not even really into it. And look at this, with all this sell, with all this, show, they haven't really done much with it. And now the push starts to begin, but will they expect Pulse here? That could have been danger. There's a couple of kills coming through for sure, but still, 3 alive, Hoodlum half HP. They need to get something done and fast, but no, Thomas again retains control, but Stanley with a shot through the smoke finds Thomas, and now it's a 1v2. Let's look at these after plant positions here. We've got Hoodlum up on long, Kamapanga on the site. One flash, one nade. Hoodlum gets contact. Oh, that's a shot from Stanley. It's down to the 1v1, and Kamapanga, he's taking the fight. Gets tagged, Stanley down to 15. No kit, of course, so time is of the essence. He needs to get moving, and Kamapanga just needs to buy time. He does more than that. He takes his life, but down to one man in that situation. Gets a little dicey, doesn't it?
Yeah, you don't normally hear such a loud cheer after beating pistols unless it was that close. And, well, Method make things interesting. They've done some damage, but at this point in the game, they wanted to be stealing that one away. Not only because it would help them massively in terms of the scoreline, but also it helps them massively with sort of their opponents, because we've already seen how this game has gone. It hasn't been like interchanging rounds and very, very close situations. It's been streak after streak after streak, and while back on the buy and back on the rush towards B, straight through, but Stanley this time has started strong. Weber beside him will be able to get one until Cray decapitates him, but Stanley round the edge of this smoke with the help from Pulse and the nade is going to give them an advantage, leaving it all onto Cinder. Oh, he's done great things from this drop spot, but surely not a 1 versus 3. That would be too much, and Jinko's there to finish him off. Break back. A lot of damage done in the previous round as well, so I'm interested to see how much money Reason actually have.
We'll find out here.
Enough.
Yeah, still got 7 casing on Cinder. He can do whatever he wants. He can drop a people Thomas as well. Yeah, both have decent money. Running low on the buffer now, they're down to like 4k, 2k. It's not, they don't have that complete longevity, of course, but Double AWP, Method giving everything they got now. Niels and Weber back on those. We saw it worked well before for a little bit of time. They're able to control that kind of fast pace. Now we need to see a different look from Reason. They need to cut a new figure here for us. Show us a little something different. Maybe a slower pace, maybe a different hit. That's lovely. That's next level from Cray, isn't it? Does eventually get it to the right place. Yeah,
was that, where did that flash go?
Exactly.
What was that? Weber's been playing very passive with the AWP up until this point. This time he's going aggressive over towards Plat, looking to try and section off this part of the map. Has a teammate's Molotov as well to hold them a little bit further. That could work lovely. He's also got himself that smoke to just throw deep, just to deny them any portion towards this Plat as well. So this is the first time I really think we've seen him go properly aggressive. And so far, T's don't look like they're doing too much, although a missed smoke again. That's going to give quite a lot of presence now over towards Drop. Thomas is going to be looked to peek in. There's 2 players waiting here, however. Of course, the Plat position allows for this. Pole's going to be finding one.
Good for him.
And Thomas does return with the Molotov, but other than that, there's not a whole lot, and they are going to go rotating back towards this A site. Genko waiting on spot. Has support from Neil, but goes down to Hoodlum. A lot of damage done, however. Now Niels has an awful lot to do. He goes down as well. Karma looking to do more. Thomas trades it again, and somehow it's down to just Weber. It was going so well. The missed smoke, as you said, helped them wonderfully. Unfortunately, if you get shot in the face, it doesn't matter. No emotion.
No, there's not much to say about these situations, is there? You have a really nice buy, you get overrun. A couple of opportunities you could have worked with, but don't come through. 15-11, Method merely tasting what they could have had in the form of a victory. It's spiraled away from them, to say the very least. Hoodlum's got 3 HP, so he's getting as far away from the bomb as possible. And if he could find Weber and Kilo on 3, I'd be impressed. But more than anything, this is horrible times for Method. This is not what they wanted to see in any way, shape, nor form. As now they come into what could be the final round, and likely the final round, with very little money. Can't have hang you there, with Thomas doing wonderfully.
I think the scariest thing about that round is that they actually sectioned off B with the AWP, and that they were more heavy over towards A and Drop. And those are the 2 positions where they actually lose the majority of their players. So if anything, the read there was really good. The read was perfect. They just didn't execute it very well and got taken down by some wonderful entries. So looking like we're having another tactical pause. Earphones out.
Yeah.
And again, it is looking like Weber is going to be the one talking.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactical timeout if they have their headsets off. Are we sure it's tactical? Would it be technical? Okay, that's interesting. Waiting to see what's going on here. Because it looks like Weber's... Okay. Just trying to get the information what's going on. I think one of the players just taking a moment. They're not feeling so spot on. So hopefully they'll be all right in a second. Just taking a breather. So that's why the headsets are off. It's, you know, no harm, no foul. So don't worry. We're not going to sit here and discuss money or anything information-wise. But we can talk about the situation. This is going to be very, very tough for them to keep going on now. You're going to be feeling pretty worn out by this point. You've had a very, very long game. It does seem as though the players are back on. You know, headsets are there. So timeout has been dealt with. All is well on the Method front. And they might have to face the music here. Staring down a bit of a barrel of a gun at this point, isn't it? You know you're coming into this round. Not much to be said about it. You've got the next map in the back of your mind as well. I think Mirage going to be coming up after this.
Was that the choice of Reason as well?
I don't know at this point. Honestly, Mini Moses, don't throw out these questions. This is why I like Jason. He just lies to me with conviction. That's what I need.
Okay, the next map is the choice of Reason.
I like that about you. There we go.
Much better. Then if I'm wrong, you can just throw me under the bus instead.
I just won't highlight it. Just don't bring it up. All right, we'll just swiftly move on.
Look at Thomas at the top of the board. It's a strong name, I have to admit. I like the name Thomas. Not sure why.
Why are you like this? But no, look at the purchase as well coming in for Method. It's shoddy at best. They still have that AWP on Weber, which he was able to save and keep over.
He's been a bit quiet on this second half, though.
Could have dropped a little something out for his teammates, maybe. Dropped a pistol over to Jenko or maybe something to Pulse, and then, you know, they could have had a little bit more utility, but no. At this point, we'll see what they can do.
Oh, it's a nice little fake as well. They've been rushing into this B site so often after these pauses that instead they throw in a lot of nades. They're going to go running straight in, and Neil gets taken down within seconds. Jenko steps up, finds himself a weapon. He is in the back lines. Decent position. Pulse gets another as well. Actually gives them a man advantage, and every kill they get is a weapon to be found. Push coming back in from Jenko. They should know he's there. Cray looking to try and get through up towards the ramp. Cray actually manages to get himself one back as well, but it's really, we want to spot the position from Jenko, but Cray reads it perfectly, leaves it into the 2 versus 2. Weber with another. That Catalyst AWP doing the work, gets himself the first, however. Cray now looking to try and get this quad kill, spots out, but doesn't manage to do it, and the defusal will come in from Weber.
Bit of a save of the day from Weber there as well. Able to go solo in that one. 3 kills for him. Stopping Cray before he just got something phenomenal building as well. But Weber's been instrumental in this too, bearing in mind. He was the only who had the AWP, still able to make impact into the right place as well, even though that first player just got completely overwhelmed for Method. Good work. Now there's opportunity. Limited amounts, bearing in mind, but there's a window they can build into.
Better than last round.
Cray, is he buying armor? Yeah, he's got that. Look, I've seen enough UKCS where they just completely forget to buy armor, so I'm just, you know, I'm checking.
Happened twice earlier today.
Yes. Special, isn't it?
T-side. Going back into more of a default round. Still a lot of utility, actually, for the CT side, so it's not one of those positions where you'd think, okay, we want to get this expended. Tom the name just got a little bit weaker, I'll be honest. T-side looking to try and take control over towards that B side of the map. Still have the AWP, this time posted much more passively. Molotov is going to be going down to slow them a bit. Still quite early on in this round, though. A minute left on the clock.
Stanley and Weber need to be the ones to hold this back. You can see Reasons starting to line themselves up. This will be a scripted piece coming out. Smokes, Molotovs, whatever you like. Last man through will be Pulse, probably. He's over by the door, and they know what's coming their way. What can you do this time, Weber? Last time you saved the day. Can you do it again? The first connects, but the second won't. It's Hulu and Kamapanga coming in, and there it is. Reason swarm the site. B is theirs, and it's retake time for the last 2.
Neil and Jenko, one been much further down than we normally expect. The other been further up, and already Jenko is gone. Neil now into a 1 versus 4. You wanted him to step up, but this would have to be something absolutely incredible to keep them in this map. And he does manage to get the first. He's still got such a task ahead of him. 3 players to find. Flashbang will be going out. Has the incendiary. Actually blinds himself, so wastes a little bit more time. He's going to be coming out. Does a lot of damage, but eventually it's not enough. Cray will finish. Reason will take themselves map number 1. And now they're going to head off to Mirage, looking for that 2-0 to get themselves further up that table.